Hey guys, it's John with MMPR Legacy Mods. I have a painted helmet here, near my finger, and an unpainted helmet back here. I thought this made a nice little intro. I have a problem with this painted helmet though. When I pulled my tape off, as you can see, I got a little bit of clear peel with it. And a little bit of trash in the paint right there. If I can get that to focus. Sorry for your clicks and noises here. I am doing a little bit of auto or manual focus. There's a real narrow window right there where it's about perfect. Okay. And this here, a little bit of orange peel texture. The basic look of this helmet. This is my $65 clear coating service. But as you can see, I have little problems here, and hopefully in the future I will not have these problems. I will do my tape ever so slightly different, and or wait longer to pull the tape off. But we're going to work on fixing these issues tonight. And the helmet is sanded. All the plastic is sanded and scuffed, so the clear sticks very well. We just had a little bit of pull off. So what I can do is scrape this area where it's a little bit bubbled up, and there's a couple where there's an area, there's a little tiny dot right down there, and if we turn the helmet here, we have a little place right here, right under my fingernail. So, oh, looks like I have a little spot right there too. Oh, right here. So we will work on those. And that is just tape issues. These are trash on the helmet over here. Yeah. This needs to be cleaned. Okay. We got a little piece of trash in the clear there too. Okay, that can come out. That's not a problem. Mainly we're going to focus on this right now. So I'm going to move the camera and focus a little bit, and then set up and start working on this. Okay, so I'm going to break out my tiny little X-Acto knife. And start working on scraping those little things out. So let's score it. You can't really see what I'm doing, I just realized. Again, my hand's in the way. There we go. So I'm just scoring it and then pulling that bubbled area off. Okay, let's see if I can move the camera in and focus a little bit. You can see I've worked on this area right here. So the bubbling is not focusing. The bubbling area is gone. It doesn't look good, but it will. There's fingerprints all over that helmet. Okay, so now for this further back area. Just score it right along. Oh yeah, that worked really well. I got up and under there, a little bit of clear coat. Okay. That's an unpleasant sound. I know I'm not talking too much. That's okay. So what I'll do here I'm a little bit undecided, so I have a couple options. After I do this, I'm going to tape off the teeth and tape off right above it. And I'm going to take I'm going to, and pardon the mess over here. I'm working on this room still. So this is 2500 grit sandpaper, just a little piece. And I can take it and just sand the rough edges off. And then at that point I have the option of hitting it with some spray. So I can tape that little area, scuff it a bit, and just spray that little area. Or I can take some clear and put it on a brush and brush in, and then fill that area in with clear, and then after it dries, and sand it smooth and buff it, and it'll be not noticeable. But these are just little touch-up things that hopefully in the future I can eliminate. Overall, I mean, you see this helmet. This looks outstanding. Just had a little bit of a problem on this one, and I want to make it right for the customer. I want to make it look really, really good. So that means I am working. Okay. I just knocked off a little bit right there on the front, that little bubble. And the main point is just sealing these things so they don't become bigger problems later. This one is right on the edge. Okay. The customer's going to see this video and be like, what? No, what? That's not right. But if the whole thing ends up being sealed, it'll be just fine. And we won't have any more problems in the future. Okay, so under here I noticed a little problem. And it's only on the bottom and not the top. So I still might rub some clear on that. Okay, so that part's done. Ugh, I'm sick. Being sick sucks. Put that there. And my tape is just a touch away. It's not right up on the edge like it was the first time. Yeah, I had a little place right there too that I want to touch up right in the front. The thing about clear is if you get a little clear on the white, it doesn't really matter, which is good. So tape that ever so slightly different. Instead of putting the tape in the crease like I did when I first painted it, but still a little bit in the crease, mainly laid on the front. Okay, where was this issue? Honestly, this one I could leave as is. Customer would never notice because I can barely see it, and I'm picky. So, but that's not how things are supposed to work. And where was that other one? Right there. Okay, so I'll put clear on these, and then I will let this sit for like 12 hours before, turn this where you guys can see it. I'll let this sit for like 12 hours before I do anything with it. Okay. Now I'm going to put my tape just above where this is. Just above. Sweet. Uh-oh. And I'm even going to sand with the tape on here. Like there, like that. Okay. That one's not bad. That's just a place in the plastic. So yeah, I'll take that 2500, which is very, very light sandpaper. And the point of it is, and I'm only going to do it right here. I'm not going to do it in these other spots because they're so minuscule they'd never notice. But right here where it's obvious, it's more noticeable. I'm not sure if that's going to focus on that or not. Probably not. Anyway, right here where it's more noticeable, I can take my sandpaper and knock down that edge a bit. Because where the clear coat is and was, there's just the slightest little edge. And making that smooth before I put anything else over it is going to get me a better finished result. Okay, so now I'm just gonna press it in just right there with my 2500 grit sandpaper, and I can tell I'm removing stuff on the sandpaper. You can see a little bit of white, right? It's not going to focus. Oh well, you'll have to trust me. I can see a little bit of white from the clear coat that I'm removing. Kind of constant pressure across a large swath area. Okay. I think that's actually pretty good. I don't want to go too far. Too far is bad. Okay, so now I use this. It's a 2-component clear. It's essentially urethane automotive clear. It has to be sprayed correctly. If you don't spray it correctly, you'll have issues. Now there is a little piece of trash right here. I wonder if I can... No, that's not going to come out without... I don't know what that is. So I got a little place on the back of the helmet. So I've got this little, and I'm probably breathing hard. Let's try to concentrate. Little piece of trash on the back of the helmet. And you can scrape these, it's very tiny. Where'd it go? It's right here. Hard to see, but you can scrape them out a little bit with a blade. And as long as it's not all the way down to the base material, you're okay. Okay, pretty good though. There was that one place in the front. That is... And I'm not digging the blade into it, I'm running the blade backwards across it. These are things that you can scrape out now and then, fix them when buffing. Okay, so that's gone. Or significantly reduced. Just a little. Just a little place. Okay, now it's gone. And I can fix that in buffing. Sweet. Okay, so now I've got my little taped areas. This clear is toxic. And I'm kind of curious because I was going to do this here on video. I was going to spray some into here, get a mount built up in here, and then dip a brush in it and do touch up. Which I think I'm going to do. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I need to kind of be quick here. This paint is Well, it's toxic. I'm gonna build up a fair amount there. A little bit right there. Fill that in. A little bit right there. Okay, that's looking real good. Okay. So another thing I can do is I can brush some clear on parts of this clasp that didn't get that shiny when I sprayed it. The way this clear levels, I can actually put it on pretty thick and just let it sit, and it'll be just fine. It's actually going to work pretty well for me. The only area I'm really concerned about is right here. Now, this is definitely not a proper way to do this. It's going to work for me though. Okay. I'm absolutely going to load it up here. The way this stuff dries, I can do that. Okay, so it's going to level itself out. That's going to work out just fine. Clasps are nice and shiny. The way I sprayed it, that works really well. Actually touch that a little bit right there. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for little places where I might have had some other tape issues that pulled the clear up just a touch and put some clear down and under a little area and on top of it and seal it. So it'll be good forever. Ever and ever and ever. Okay. Everything else is looking really good. There's one thing I need to touch on here. A hair or something got on the eye when I was painting. Okay. Okay, it came off with no problems. Very good, very good. So I'm going to take this because I'm going to buff off excess off the helmet. I'm going to just touch that little, kiss that little spot right there in the front where I had a piece of trash that I dug out of the paint. So I'm going to have a little bump in the clear there that I can easily knock down and get rid of and polish, and it'll look really good again. You can see the little bump right there, so that will be gone. Another piece of trash in the paint. I really need to get a booth. See, I have to be careful. I'm not going to mess with that one because there's a tiniest little bump right here. It's barely noticeable. It's just a piece of dust that got trapped in the clear. The problem is, if I fix this one like I did this one, being right near this edge here, I'm not going to be able to buff it out. And it's hardly even noticeable. Whereas this one was more noticeable. So I'm going to leave that one be because it would be too difficult to fix. The other concern is this one piece of trash here on top of the helmet. I'm going to try one more time to get it out. Okay, so it's out. But like the other places on the helmet, it had to go through the clear to get to it. So let's fill it in. Okay, so this is where this is now. I've done the touch up, I've taken the tape off, and I've sanded some. There's a couple little other spots I'm working on too that you guys saw from the earlier part of the video. This is the next day from the earlier part of the video. So as you can see, you can still see a little bit, but you can't, my knuckles are bad, but you can't feel anything. It's perfectly smooth. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my sandpaper and I'm just working this like this. This is 2000 grit sandpaper and it was a little bit wet. It's on the dry side now. So what I'm doing is, because this clear coat here where I did my touch up.
This is all yours, okay?
Huh?
This is my red, okay?
That one's yours now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's my size.
It is your size.
Yeah, for me to use.
Use it all you want.
Yeah, and this is a screw in the living room.
Okay. Well, you take that screw in the living room and you do whatever you need. My son found one of my small screwdrivers. Pretty cute. Okay, what that funny sound was, I got this, I wet the end of my sandpaper. So what I'm doing here is trying to just feather the main clear coat, the spray clear coat, down to my touched up area. And it won't look perfect here. That's about good though.
Huh?
So right there I'll polish that and it'll be completely gone.
They have to put it on tight. To put it on tight.
Okay, so this has been sanded and buffed. And this is the area we've been working on, so let's wipe it off and see where we're at. Running that light across it so you can still see it. Looking at it right here, like I'm just looking inside the helmet, I cannot see it. If I get the light on it just right, it's still there. Just a touch. But I don't want to sand any more into that, so there's just a little bit of an imperfection there. And that will be okay. I don't want any imperfections. I would like to send out a flawless product. But, and I hate to say but, I hate to use excuses. I'm wiping all the polish off this helmet here. When you work outside, paint outdoors, without filtered air, or at least some way to control contaminants, you're going to get some trash in the paint. And really, in this case, I probably should have just left the trash in the paint. I mean, I got the things out, but then there's a little place where if you look closely, you can see it's not, the paint isn't perfect, so. It's less than ideal. But for the future, we'll know. set this guy back down here. So you can see there's a little place right here. But again, we're looking at this helmet, and I'm going to change the focus back to auto. We're looking at this helmet really close, right? And as you can see the reflection of the TV there. Just got a little bit of haze right here. I need to wipe off. Wipe. You can see my ring light. You can see the TV. So this is really good. And actually, in this shadow here, let's see. Where's my finger? There you go. So right here is my wife's exercise bike. That's a total gem. And right here is the camera. So this little silver thing right here in front of my finger is actually, use my hand, that's the camera. Fun times. Okay. So this still needs wax on it, but let's take the camera away a little bit. I put it back on autofocus. I need to move my keyboard here so I can actually have some cord. This camera's caught on everything. Power Ranger sword here. My goodness. Room's a bit of a mess. So let's look at this helmet from a little over a foot away here. You pull out from those imperfections, and you realize the helmet looks amazing. So I'm gonna be good with it. It's gonna get sent out to the customer with a coat of wax on it from right now, but yeah, there's a little bit of just stuff that'll come off when it's waxed. But that's looking pretty good. Now, one thing I want to say, this right here is an out-of-the-box Legacy line helmet. This is what it looked like. This is what I charged $65 for. That's not bad. So the helmet cost you about $100. Shipping will be about $30. So let's just say you're into it for $200. And even though the size is larger than the screencast ones, you have a helmet that looks like this. Even under the chin is shiny. Under the mouth is or up here, right in here is shiny. I can do this for $65. Ooh, right there is really good. You can actually see the camera, and you can see the Yeti microphone over there. Yeah, so good. You can even see, I'm just looking at the reflection here. So right here and right here, you can see the LEDs on the front of my camera. That's awesome.